But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
The Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and online at WGNSradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Welcome in. It's a Wednesday for the Roundtable here on WGNS. A beautiful day in Murfreesboro. We will get you the weather forecast a bit later, but mid-70s, not a cloud in the sky. And got a great guest today, Dr. David Urban, the Dean of the Jones College of Business at Middle Tennessee. And David, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. The weather's just raising my spirits, dramatically ever since Sunday. So I'm just thrilled.
I'm telling you, last week could not have been worse.
Whew,
it was
man.
Just, I mean, anything to make you uncomfortable. But the only thing today, with the only caveat, is that if you hear the, it's this is like the worst pollen week of the year, and so that's going on. The big news for Dean Urban is the clock is ticking on his deanship, and you have you've run the good race here with being the dean of what is an outstanding college of business, and so what's the timetable on you handing over the baton?
As of today, it's 80 days to go.
80 days to go.
So I will be stepping off at 12:01 a.m. On July 1st.
So wow, July 1st is 80 days from now. Okay, that's right. The Jones College of Business. You have a phrase that, and I want to kind of right off the bat kind of dive into how you boiled this down to the low gravy and came up with a 4-word description of what the Jones College of Business is, and you've lent this phrase out to others around campus, and that is national prominence, regional dominance. Was that just a light bulb moment going off in your head? Because I think that's fantastic.
Well, it was something that came to me before I came to MTSU, but as I thought about coming here, I thought we had a pretty good leg up on the regional dominance piece because the Jones College of Business, a lot of people may not know this, but we're the biggest provider of big business and management talent to the greater Nashville region. And I've got 30,000 alumni in Middle Tennessee just from my college. And no other college is really even close to us in terms of what we provide the business community in this region. So the regional dominance piece was pretty obvious, but where I thought we needed to do some work was in the area of national prominence. And it's just like athletics, and you're knee deep in MTSU sports, so it's nice to win the games in your local area, but what you really crave is the national recognition, and that's what we've been working a lot on over the past 10 years.
Yeah, and very much so. And what are the pieces involved that get you to that point?
Well, it's really an inside-out philosophy.
Okay.
You've got to have the internal strength. You've got to have really good programs, great faculty. You've got to have facilities that are state-of-the-art facilities. And when you have that, then you can do a really good job of going out and essentially selling what you offer. You can sell people on what you do, but if they then have a touch point with the institution and it's not favorable, they find out the facilities aren't any good, faculty is really not committed, the programs are kind of out of date. Well, it's like going to the store hoping that you're going to find something on sale and realize it's not a quality product or it's out of stock or whatever it might be, right? So we spent a lot of time on the front end really looking hard at our programs. One of the first things I did when I came in 10 years ago was I asked our undergraduate programs committee to do a comprehensive review of our core curriculum in business, which is the foundational stuff that everybody takes. And that hadn't been done in forever. And I also had our graduate committee look at our MBA program, which had not undergone a thorough program review in many years. It took the better part of a year to get those things done. But once they were done, we were able to really re-engineer our entire MBA program and added some things to our undergraduate program that no one else in the country is doing. So our MBA program now, we call it the Flex MBA. When I came here, we had about 150 students. We've got 3 times that many now. And we have future growth potential that is still untapped, especially not just within Tennessee, but outside Tennessee. And then as far as our undergraduate program is concerned, we can talk about some of the unique features of that. But the biggest one for us is the alliance that we have with the worldwide Dale Carnegie organization, where our students have to take the Dale Carnegie course in human relations and communication as part of their degree program. And we're the only university in the country that does that. So
that was a priority of yours coming in, wasn't it?
Well, you know,
where were you touched by that program that said, yes, wherever I go, this needs to be a part of what we do?
Well, it really all started many years ago when I was a faculty member at Georgia State University when I was right out of grad school. And I took the Dale Carnegie course myself and paid for it out of my own pocket. I really didn't know that much about it, except that I knew people who had taken it and said it was transformational. So I signed up for it, I took it, and I thought, you know, this is a game changer for me. And I took it when I was 31 years old, and I thought to myself, you know what, if I had had this course when I was 21 instead of 31, those 10 years from 21 to 31 would have been a lot better for me. Not that they were bad, but they would have been better because I would have been a better communicator. My people skills would have been better. I would have been more self-confident. I would have had better leadership skills, and I think I would have had a better attitude about myself and about the world of work. So I kind of stuck in the back of my head that if I ever had the opportunity to shape a business curriculum, I'd try and find a way to bring the Dale Carnegie program into it. And so not long after I got here in 2013, I met Alan Walker, who is the Tennessee franchisee for the Dale Carnegie organization. He's actually a lot more than that now because he bought the Atlanta franchise and some other things. He's actually, I think, the number 2 franchisee in the country and in the top 5 in the world, actually, in terms of his volume. But we started talking about how we could bring the program into Jones College of Business. And at first we started talking about maybe a couple of sections a year or something. And then I said, well, what if we pushed the envelope? What if we made everybody take it? How would that work? And that just changed the entire conversation. So it was something that he had to run through the worldwide organization all the way up through the board of directors. It was something I had to run through the curriculum process at MTSU all the way up to President McPhee's level. And finally, we made it happen in 2015. And so now I think by the end of this semester, we will have run over 5,500 students through that program. And if I had a couple hours, I could tell you some stories about the transformational impact that course has had on virtually every student who's taken it. And I include my son in this,
right?
Because he's an MTSU graduate, and he took the course. He graduated in 2017, and now that he's out working, thankfully, he talks to me all the time still about things that he learned in that course and how he's applied them on the job. So, your typical college class, a lot of times, you take the class, you take the final exam. Once that's over with, poof, It's gone. But Dale Carnegie is something that stays with people. And so and it's just, and the other thing that the students really like about it is that it is immediately practical and applicable. They can apply the principles right away and see how they work. And that's sort of an instant gratification piece that helps them realize that the course really does have value.
Yep, and in this world today, the interesting thing to me about that, number one, is that it does apply to anybody that is in business anywhere. But, I remember the name Dale Carnegie from when I was a kid, and here, it's a real tenet of what you do in the Jones College of Business, but it's not the shiniest, newest thing on the block, which is our society today tends to look for, but it is rock solid from its foundations, and you've got the proof in the pudding to back it up.
Well, Mr. Carnegie passed away the year I was born. I'm not going to tell you when that was, but it was a long time ago. But the principles that he wrote about in that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, that was first published in 1936. Those principles are still valid today, and I firmly believe that given the type of discourse we have in our country and in the world and how people get along these days, those principles are needed now more than ever before. And so we're giving our students something that they're not going to get anyplace else. So I'm really happy about that, and I'm pleased that things have worked out the way they have with that course. And again, I'm a trainer myself. I'm a qualified trainer, and I teach the course every semester. And I got to tell you, the 3 hours that I spend with those students during the week, that's the best 3 hours of my week right there.
Really?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And why so?
Well, because as many courses as I've taught, and I'm a marketing guy. I came up as a marketing professor many years ago. I've been in academia for 38 years. So I've taught at just about every course you can teach in marketing. But the difference between Dale Carnegie and your standard college course is that you can actually see the progress that students make through the semester.
That's the secret sauce.
That to me is extraordinarily gratifying. And what's really neat is to run into students whom I've had in the course from a couple of years ago, and they'll tell me right up, I'm still applying the principles, Dr. Urban. I'm telling you, and it's a heartwarming thing. It really is.
Well, and I look at the different undergrad programs, and okay, well, how does it fit into accounting as much as it does in management and leadership, or risk management and insurance? But the principles apply across the board.
Yeah, it's all about relationships in business. I mean, if we're going to get anywhere in business, it's going to be based on relationships. It's not just relationships internally within the organization, but also relationships that we have with our suppliers, with our customers, with other institutions that assist us in achieving our goals. And the Dale Carnegie course is all about relationships. And it goes way beyond our ability to manage relationships via electronic devices. It's funny, Chip, and I talk to people in the business community all the time, not just to sell them on the quality of our students, but also to get some market intelligence from them about what we can do better. And over all the years that I've been asking that question, you'd be surprised. It's very rare that people in the business community say, well, they need better technical skills. They almost never say they need another accounting course, or they need another IT course, or they need another statistics course. They almost never say that. What they say almost all the time is that if you want to do something to improve the quality of your students who are graduating and entering the business community, help them with their soft skills. And soft skills is a term that we use a lot, but what it really means to people in business is that they want graduates coming out of a business program who can write and think and speak, who can work
and be engaged,
who can work in teams, absolutely, who can build and maintain relationships with real people, one-on-one, in person, because those are the relationships that last. I mean, electronic devices that we all carry with us.
Is it a challenge to get their noses out of them?
Well, we tell them put them away.
Yeah.
I mean, there is they have no need for their smartphones or their tablets in our class, and we structure the class in such a way. It's very fast paced. So there's not a lot of dead time, and that prevents them from reaching into their backpacks and pulling out their phones.
Right. I was looking at, see if my math is right here, 15 undergraduate programs, 14 graduate level programs, 2 certificate programs. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually lost count.
Yeah.
We've got another one coming up that is in the approval process right now. It's a Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity, which is obviously one of the hot areas in business worldwide. One of the we have added some neat stuff over the past few years. I mentioned to you the revisions that we've done to the curriculum, but we have a professional selling program that was just listed as one of the top professional selling programs in the country. Our risk management and insurance program was number 1 in the country a couple of years ago. Our entrepreneurship program was the top entrepreneurship in the program. Top entrepreneurship program in the country is voted by the Small Business Institute last year. We have programs in supply chain management now that we didn't have before, human resource management that we didn't have before. And really what it comes down to, a lot of it, Chip, is that we haven't just added programs. We have gotten rid of programs.
Right.
We have gotten rid of programs that were no longer viable. And,
Right.
and that way we freed up the bandwidth to add some of these things that have more market demand.
Well, and you one that you mentioned about supply chain management, that's right out of the headlines, and that's one of the newer areas that you have, and because Dr. McPhee's want to have work-ready degrees and work-relevant degrees that fits right in.
Absolutely, and if you think about the top industries in this region, I mean, supply chain management is right there. And
how many big rooftops of storage and all that do we have around here?
Yeah, absolutely, and we're ideally positioned for that geographically, right? We had our second annual supply chain summit this week, and our supply chain career fair, and our students are being snapped up as soon as they finish. So we're really happy about that. We're filling a need, and our students are a good product.
And we see that in other programs as well. You mentioned the cybersecurity program that's in the approval process. What will that allow graduates from here to do? What will it put them on the stage with? Well,
it has everything. It's everything for anything having to do with any kind of information security. And this could have implications not just in the commercial arena, but in other arenas as well. My daughter, for example, works for a consulting firm in San Diego, and they do a lot of work with the United States Navy in naval intelligence and cybersecurity. And a couple of weeks after she started working for this company, she called me on the phone. She said, "Dad, you're not going to believe what the Navy's doing in cybersecurity." And I said, yeah, I will. A, because I used to be in the Navy, and B, because I know that the next war is probably going to be, in cyberspace.
Right.
So it's not just a commercial thing, and there is, it is absolutely incredible how vigilant organizations of all types have to be to hackers, people trying to steal data,
it's
infiltrate. And I mean, it's a constant battle. I work with a lot of financial service firms, and they have invested incredible resources in hiring cybersecurity experts to help them keep their data safe. And so it is an area that we've always had a strong IT program and all that, but cybersecurity is a new wrinkle that is really going to help us out. All
right, David Urban, the Dean of the Jones College of Business at MTSU, is our guest today. If you got questions, you want to text in, 615-893-1450. We'll have more after this on the Wednesday Roundtable on WGNS. Chip Walters here with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. I was named a top 10 agent in the #1 Exit Realty office in America in 2021. The top question I get around town, how's the market? Good question. And the answer's changed a few times this year alone. I'd like to know what you've heard and share some solid data we have. Give me a call and let's have a cup of coffee and take a look at what's happening in your neighborhood. All my contact info is right on my website, choosechip.net. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates.
Hey fellas, need an annual health exam for work or just to start the year prioritizing your health? I recommend Low T Center to get your complete health assessment. They check all your levels, not just your testosterone. Typically, it's completely covered by most health insurance, and if you don't have insurance, it's less than $100 for full labs and an office visit with the provider. Low T Center specializes in men's health, making it quick and easy. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
It was big news when Oakland and Riverdale schools opened their doors. Now, 50 years later, the first graduating classes are celebrating with a reunion the first weekend of June. If you are a friend or family of a 73 graduate, please be sure they are aware of this momentous event by informing them of our website to register.
Visit Oakland Riverdale Class 1973.com. Again, that's Oakland Riverdale Class 1973.com.
Absolute deadline is May 15th.
Hi, this is Bob Cornell, pastor of Covenant Church right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The answer that you've been looking for is found in Jesus and what he accomplished at the cross. You see, Jesus changes lives from the inside out. We would love for you to join us at Covenant Church, located at 1124 Brinkley Ave right here in Murfreesboro. We have services Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m. and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. You can learn more about us at our Cornell Ministries YouTube channel. We want you to grow in Christ at Covenant Church.
We're talking with Betty Atterbury. What do you like most about Adams Place?
When I first came here, I did not know anyone in here. But it wasn't too long till we have 4 at a table, and we are very good friends now. I really like my table mates at Adams Place.
I'm Terry Deal. Call me for more information about Adams Place, located at 1927 Memorial Boulevard, across from Walmart.
It's Good Neighbor Events, brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control, Cardinal Realty Solutions, and the law offices of John Day.
Let the experts at Cardinal Realty Solutions help you with your Middle Tennessee real estate needs.
Cardinal went over the process, so we knew what to expect.
Find a realtor you can trust.
They made it less stressful
at cardinalrealtysolutions.com.
WGNS encourages you to shop local. Let's get behind our local family businesses. Saturday, April 22nd is a big day. Not only is it Earth Day and the Better Business Bureau's Shred Day, it's also the official opening of Cannonsburg. The Pioneer Days, Saturday, April 22nd. It's a busy day because that night, the Backstage Bash is at the Center for the Arts. That's at 110 West College Street. Now that's a fun fundraiser. Don't forget the Bible Reading Marathon is at Greenhouse Ministries, May 3rd through the 7th. We're talking about around the clock, 24/7. And Greenhouse is again presenting the 20th annual Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. This will be Thursday, May 4th, 6:30 in the morning at the Experience Church. That's at 521 Old Salem Road. And that's Thursday morning, May the 4th. The Mayor's Prayer Breakfast tickets are $25 and available at Greenhouse Ministries. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Good neighbor weather. We'll see mostly sunny skies here this afternoon, high in the upper 70s. South winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear, low near 47. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS. Currently, it's 53.
WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Rutherford County's 22nd annual Earth Day celebration is Saturday, April 22nd, 10 a.m. to 2 on the square. MTE's EV Car Club will be on hand, and they're giving away 500 Eastern Redbud seedlings.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
Welcome back into the Wednesday Roundtable. David Urban, the Dean of the Jones College of Business, joins us. Next week, Brad Willis, the Executive Director of the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, will be here to talk about their class of inductees coming up later on. And then 2 weeks from today, Mitchell Moat from the Extension Office will be talking all about your yards and gardens and all of that. So get ready for those questions. We talked a lot about programs and things like that, including the Dale Carnegie part in the first segment. But I want to talk about how the college, the Jones College of Business, is in the community and how the community is back within the program. You as the dean, have been very active with the Chamber, United Way, and even Dancing with the Stars, you and your wife, and to put yourself out there like that as a high level academician, that I think that made you accessible to a lot of people.
Well, we have an internationally accredited College of Business, and we're accredited by an organization called AACSB International, which is really the most prestigious accrediting body for collegiate business in the world. The three watchwords for AACSB, for all of its accredited members, are engagement, innovation, and impact. And we don't look at those as just being confined to the classes that we teach. We look at them as ways for us to have an impact on the broader community and to get a closing of the gap, if you will, between the academic community and the real world. Okay, so that's a lot of what we're all about. I mean, we do it in our classes by having a lot of hands-on types of projects, real projects that our students do, not cases out of a book, although we have some of that, but where the action is, especially in this area, given our location, is the opportunity for us to interact with businesses and nonprofit organizations around the area. We started a couple of years ago a program in our MBA that we call the ISLE program, ISLE. That stands for Industry Sponsored Learning Experiences. And these are live case studies that our students engage with all the time. It's a real business problem. It's a win-win. It's a win for the organization that's the sponsor because they get a lot of fresh ideas. It's a win for our students, and it's also a win for the college and the university because it gets us out there and people get to see how good our students and our programs really are. And I think that the more that the university, the Jones College of Business, can engage with the broader community, the better off we are. And it really does close that gap between academia and the real world. The involvement that I've had with the Chamber and the United Way has put me in contact with a lot of key people in this region who have been able to help us. And so it's just a natural, really, to be out there and do those types of things. And, I don't take credit for it because I was lucky coming up through the ranks. I was, for 24 years, I was at Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, Virginia, VCU. We know them mainly because of their basketball program. But I worked for a visionary president there for 19 years who was all about the relationship between the university and the broader community. So when I came here, I just copied a lot of what he did.
That's where the best ideas come from,
well,
right?
Well, I am not the most creative person in the world, but I'm a really good sponge. I mean,
Yeah.
I can soak up a lot of ideas.
That sounds
from other
nicer than
people.
what I say. I say I'm typically not the great idea guy, but I'm a good thief.
Well, there we go.
Sponge is the better.
Well,
I like that.
Yeah, but so I had tutelage early on about the importance of community involvement, and you know what's really great is my wife is involved in it too.
Right.
You know, she's on the board of the Boys and Girls Club, and she does a lot of other things around with Rutherford Cable and everything else. But, you know, Murfreesboro is such an easy place in which to engage. And it's that way because of the people. One of the things we noticed that when we came here 10 years ago, after we had been here for 6 to 8 weeks, something like that, I came home one day and I said something to my wife. I said, have you noticed that every time someone hears that we just moved here, they always say, well, welcome to Murfreesboro. And she said, yeah, every place I go, it's like that. The bank, the grocery store. I said, yeah. And it's really true. I mean,
there's a local pride.
There is a lot to love about this place, and that's why, quite frankly, we're not leaving.
Yeah.
So it is it's been a wonderful place, wonderful people, wonderful organizations that do great things, not just for MTSU and the Jones College, but the entire community.
Let's turn that around now because of the immersion of the Jones College within the business community and your own involvement. Let's turn that around now. The Dean's Advisory Committee, alums who come back to be involved on campus, whether it's to be a guest lecturer, whatever it may be. Talk about that and how your thoughts on how that has built up over your tenure.
Yeah, you know, it's a really great group, and we are bringing new people in, and you know, having some rotation all the time. But these are all people. They're not all alumni. They have a desire to be involved. They care. They know that Middle Tennessee State University and Jones College of Business are drivers of economic development in this area, and you know, they want to be a part of something exciting, and so they help me in a variety of different ways. You know, first of all, part of it is financial because they do contribute to our programs financially. Along with that, they advise me on a lot of things. It's a reality check, if you will. When, for example, we redid our strategic plan for the college a couple of years ago, I made sure to involve the members of the advisory council in that strategic planning. Why? Well, because they do strategic planning all the time in their own organizations, but they are very good at being able to ask questions that we might not ask ourselves in academia. And so being able to tap their expertise, being able to leverage their connections, being able to involve them in our classes. You know, last week we had Financial Literacy Week. The week before that, we had Tom and Martha Boyd Ethical Leadership Week, and you know, Tom and Martha Boyd are alumni of MTSU. Tom is on our board of trustees,
and just an absolutely great guy.
They're wonderful people.
Yeah,
and they contributed some money several years ago for us to start this ethical leadership program, and it's really great because not only do we have a keynote speaker, but we also have a whole host of business people coming in to our classes during that week who can discuss the ethical challenges that they face in business and how we should respond to those. And I had one of those speakers in my class. He's an alumnus. He's from Memphis. He's a financial advisor. Came up just like a lot of our students, first generation college student, put himself through school, and is now extremely successful, but really grabbed the students in talking about, some of the ethical things you have to deal with in the financial industry. So those types of engagements and that type of support is really great. They also help me when the accreditation team comes in and asks them what they think of our college. So they've been very, very supportive in that way, too.
The ethical conduct piece of it, the guiding principles of the Jones College of Business are accessibility, diversity, and ethical conduct. And I think if you are in business, no matter what area you're in, those have to be three main foundation principles of what you have to do.
Absolutely. And you can't hear about them enough. Mm-hmm. It's just like anything else. It's a constant reinforcement, and eventually those core values sink in.
Yep, they do. And you guided the college through the pandemic, and I can't imagine a bigger challenge. When you got here, the university was starting to do online, that kind of thing. Now you can get your MBA and never leave your house. Is that a good thing? Because I love the personal interaction and the true college experience that I think is a huge benefit once you get out in the world doing whatever you do. But how did you all address those challenges, and how do you feel like you came out on the other side?
Well, we had to pivot very quickly because one week we were teaching classes normally, and the next week we were 100% online or remote. So we had to think fast, and we had to pivot quickly, and we got through it. It really hit us about halfway through the spring semester in 2020. And by the time we got to the fall, we were still teaching 100% online or remote, but everybody was kind of used to it. And then once we got to the following semester, we started moving out and started bringing some of those in-person classes back. I think it did a lot of things for us. Number one, I think it made our faculty in many respects more versatile, because some people who swore that they would never teach an online class or a remote class, once they tried it, they thought, this really isn't so bad. Now what I see is in the wake of the pandemic, students who got a taste of some of these online classes started liking them in the sense that they could pursue them in a more convenient way. But it really is a different strokes for different folks type thing. I think it's a market segmentation issue. We are always going to have a group of people, and it's going to be a large group of people, who want in-person instruction. And hey, look, I would much rather myself teach in person than remotely. I've taught remotely. I can do it. It's functionally adequate, and some people thrive on it. But I think I'd rather teach in person if I had my druthers. But we're always going to have that segment. But we're also going to have these other segments of people who want some online option. The extreme is something that we call flex hybrid teaching, which allows a student to either attend a class in person or live online, or to pick up the class after it's happened in an asynchronous way. So a student has three different options there. And graduate students whom we've surveyed, when we ask them about that option, they love that option because it allows them to work and go to school in a much more convenient way. And I think as we continue to grow our MBA program and some of the other programs that we have, we're going to start seeing more people who want to engage in those remote online programs for the convenience factor. And it's also a way for us to reach out into areas outside of our home region.
Yeah, one of my biggest concerns is, and having been around here 40 years, as I look at the most engaged alums that we have, were typically the most engaged students that we had. Whether it was Greek alumni, athletic alumni, those type of people in particular, and those who were on campus all the time. My concern is moving forward, that is going to be a new challenge to activate and integrate alums and keep them engaged. And it's not just an MTSU issue. That's going to be a national concern, I think.
Right, and I think you know, if you just look at the undergraduate audience and the graduate audience, when I think about the typical graduate student has a different orientation toward his or her education than the undergraduate does.
Correct.
You know, the undergraduate is probably much more immersed, as you mentioned, in the day-to-day lifeblood of the institution, and those types of things, you know, sort of stay with you. I mean, you know, when I think about my undergraduate experience, I went to the University of Virginia, and during those 4 years, I got put on the pathway for my career, but I also met the woman I would end up marrying. So when you think about those two life-changing events that happened when I was an undergrad, I'm always going to have a strong soft spot in my heart for the for the university. But so I think we'll have that. But I think we also are going to have more outreach, especially at the graduate level, when it comes to these online and remote programs. And we're going to be facing in a couple of years a pretty serious drop in the number of undergraduate students hitting colleges and universities in prime time 18-year-old age groups. So we need to reach out to graduate students and non-traditional students a lot more than we probably have already.
All right. David Urban is our guest today on the Wednesday Roundtable. We'll take a break. Final segment coming up after this. You're listening to the Big G, WGNS.
When the unexpected happens, fire, water, or storm damage, Farrah Construction can help. Farrah Construction is also there to help when a car slams through the wall, and that seems to happen more often these days. I'm Ron Hall. Let our family at Farrah Construction help you. Call Farrah Construction and we'll board up, put down tarps, secure your home or business until the insurance coverage is approved. I'm Ron Hall. Shop local. Let our family business help you. Farrah Construction Company.
Hey, bargain hunters, listen up. This is Rodney French from French's Shoes and Boots. If bargain prizes is what you want, come to French's and shop our everyday bargain racks. These shoes and boots are out of the boxes and are always 50 to 90% off the regular retail prices. Shoe brands like Cole Haan, Joseph Seibel, Clark's, Nike, and more. Boot brands like Justin, Ariat, Corral, Chippewa, Dan Post, and many more. Out of the box, but 50 to 90% off every day. That's French's Shoes and Boots.
French's Shoes and Boots.
1837 South Church Street in Murfreesboro.
Do you suffer from peripheral neuropathy in your hands or feet, burning pain, balance problems, and a decreased quality of life? Magnolia Medical Center can help. This is Dr. David Morris with Magnolia Medical Center, across the street from the hospital and the Ascend Federal Credit Building.
Online at magnoliamedicalcenters.com.
Here at Bud's Tire, we make buying Michelin tires simpler. I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We offer a straightforward approach to service, including nationwide warranties with every purchase. Stop in today to see our full lineup of Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. For whatever you drive, Michelin and BF Goodrich have a tire to fit any need. Bud's Tire Pros, hassle-free, guaranteed. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstirepros.tn.com.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
Well, I'll tell you, time flies when you're having fun. Down to our final 10 minutes with David Urban, the Dean of the Jennings-Jones College of Business. And you guys have an event coming up tomorrow night that I'm sure is one of your most favorite nights of the year within the college.
Yeah, we got a double header tomorrow night. We have the induction of students into our Business Honorary Society, which is called Beta Gamma Sigma. Beta Gamma Sigma is an international organization. It's kind of like Phi Beta Kappa in the arts and sciences, but it's for business. So those really are students who qualify based on their GPA at the top of their class. So we do that, and then we follow that immediately with our scholarship and student awards reception. It is the E.W. Wink Midget Awards reception after the person who really started the business program at MTSU many years ago, and so we have that going on, and it's great because these students at both of these events, they really are the best and the brightest, and it really is very, very heartwarming to see them get the recognition that they deserve.
Yeah, and you touched on the history of the program and of the college that Dr. Midget got it going. A couple of other local names that are attached that mean so much. Jennings Jones with the Jones College of Business, and the original Mr. Murfreesboro, Tommy Martin with the Martin Chair of Insurance, and those chairs of excellence, have helped grow the college. But the business leaders in Murfreesboro, those legendary names that are still within the college, have meant so much.
Yeah, and every time I do a recruiting event, like one of our preview days, our True Blue previews that we have on campus, or when I have students come in for orientation in the summer as they're getting ready to start at MTSU and the Jones College, I make sure I tell them about the history. Because history is important, and we need to be able to recognize and appreciate our roots and the people who have helped get us to where we are today.
Yeah, you mentioned True Blue. True Blue Give just wrapped up not too long ago, and it was a 3-day. It was in February 14th, 15th, 16th, I think, but where it's a concentrated effort that has really taken hold within the alumni base, within the community, and is really an important source of revenue. And I think the Jones College of Business had its biggest True Blue Give period ever.
Yes.
And the university as a whole had its largest. What does that say about the university, and should it calm my fears about what we talked about a bit earlier about engagement?
Well, I think people will give to organizations and causes that they feel are making a positive difference. And one of the things that our alumni in particular, but other people as well who are our supporters, they see the results of what comes out of MTSU and Jones College, and they want to be a part of it. I think most people want to be part of something that's bigger than themselves, and this is a very easy way to do it. And as you say, I mean, every year that we've done True Blue Give, we've set a new record. So we just want that positive trajectory to keep going.
Absolutely. Well, the positive trajectory that you're going to be making in 80 days is being able, and most people when they retire, it's like, the thought is, okay, you're just going to kick your feet up and go, but that's not going to be the case for you.
No, I'm not ready to hang it up.
How did you decide this was the time to retire from being the dean?
Well, I've always felt that just like Kenny Rogers sang in the Gambler, you got to know when to hold them and you got to know when to fold them, and we were, it was about a year ago that I told our provost, Mark Burns, that I had an exit strategy planned out. I wanted to give the university plenty of time to recruit my replacement, but I also wanted to tie up some loose ends before I stepped away. But as the more I thought about it, the more I thought, this would probably be a good time. 10 years is a nice round number. Mm-hmm. My wife was very influential in this as well, and we talked about it. And when I first told her that I was starting to think about going back to a faculty role, she said, "Well, I'm kind of glad you're thinking about that because I thought
you around the house."
I thought that she said I thought that by this point in our lives that we'd be spending more time together, and we really don't, because you work all the time.
And this is going to give you that opportunity.
And so now I'll have a much more flexible schedule. I'll be busy, but it'll be a different kind of busy. Yeah. And it'll be spending more time with students, which I love to do, and more time writing about the things that are important to me. So.
And you'll still be teaching the Dale Carnegie
Oh
course?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I'll be firing them up every day.
Top most favorite things that have been achieved in the last 10 years that's been under your watch with the Jones College?
Boy, oh boy, there are a lot of them, but I think the re-engineering of our MBA program has been huge, not just for Jones College, but for the university, because the MBA program is the biggest graduate program we have on campus by far. And we have been able to reach out with the help of a third-party marketing firm outside of our immediate area to bring people into our program and into our online program. There's more upward potential there that we will be tapping, I'm sure, over the next few years. So that's a big one. The Dale Carnegie program is a big one. I think the other thing is we've done a lot more to spread the word about our college than we had done before.
You've been very actively marketing, with partnership with the Titans, among other things.
Yes.
And you go to Nissan Stadium and all of a sudden there's something about the Flex MBA up on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and those types of things have helped us. I think that the more people hear about us, the more they come to realize all the great things that are going on down here. And so those are probably the biggest ones. But my goodness, there are so many things that have been hallmarks. I'm just really, really thankful that I was able to be a part of it, and that I've had so many helpers among our faculty, our students, our staff, our alumni, our administration. It really has been a team effort, and I'm just glad that I've been in the middle of it.
You talked about how that you've been able to transform the College of Business, programs added, programs deleted due to just needs. Let's project forward to 2050. Where do you see the needs coming from? You talk about the cybersecurity degree coming online. What other new age type things do you think we'll see in the next 25 years?
Well, I can tell you that the whole field of artificial intelligence is going to transform education.
Yeah.
And it's already started. It's going to be a challenge for higher education, but it's also an opportunity, because we will see a lot of new programs that will capitalize on developments in artificial intelligence. We'll see a lot more opportunities to partner with businesses on these things. So I think that whole area is going to be huge,
and there's a lot of fear involved in that too.
Yeah, it's going to change. It's going to change a lot of what we prepare students for, because a lot of repetitive tasks that they might have performed previously in their jobs, those are going to be taken care of by a computer. So I think it's going to mean that we're going to have to spend even more time and effort on the soft skills, because those are the things that the computers don't have, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's going to be interesting.
It takes you right back to where we started.
That's it.
So, all right, what's going to be your first? You and your wife, once July 1 gets here, what's going to be the first trip and things you do for you two guys?
We're thinking about going to Alaska. We're trying to knock out 50 states in our lifetime. We're into the 40s now. And
I'm at 38. I got to get moving.
So we're going to head out, I think, to Oregon and Washington State, because we've never been out there, and then pick up a cruise in Seattle and head on up to Alaska. So that'll knock out 3 of them right there.
Yeah, well, from where I sit, it's always nice to look around at Floyd Stadium and Murphy Center and places like that, and see you darkening the door there, and that's not going to change.
No, we'll still be around. As I say, it's been fun, and we really didn't talk about it, but I've always believed that a strong partnership with athletics is really, really important for any of the colleges, but it's something that has been really important to me, and our college has benefited from it, and I think athletics has benefited from it too.
I agree. Last thing, what advice do you have for Joyce Heems, who comes in July 1 as the new dean?
Well, she's an experienced dean, so I don't really need to tell her what to do. But what I have told her is that I am a resource for her as little or as much as she wants. So it is really up to her. But I expect I'll be having lunch with her shortly, and I will answer whatever questions she has. But she has to get a feel for the place, and she has to be able to make the job her own.
Well, she has big shoes to fill, but I hear great things about her, so looking forward to that. And congratulations on an outstanding career as dean, and thanks for coming in today. It's been fun.
I enjoyed it, Chip. Always good to see you.
All right, appreciate it very much. David Urban has been our guest today. You can re-listen or catch any parts that you missed on the podcast on WGNSradio.com. Next week, as we mentioned, we'll have Brad Willis from the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. Have a great day and enjoy this beautiful day in Murfreesboro. Brian Barrett's next on WGNS.